numbers a throwaway. Hustle the overweight. That's why they follow me, huh? They think I know the way. Cause I took control of things. Ballin' the solo way. And if you pattern my trend, I make you my protege. Slossin' that soldier race.
Everybody, thank you for watching part 2 of our series about where I think everything's going to go for 2022, my predictions. And before we get started, if you didn't catch it, watch our 2021 predictions, and if we won or we lost as far as how we ended up for the year. You can catch those videos right here in these 2 boxes. Now, 2022, I think, is going to be a very interesting world we're going to be in. There's going to be a lot of things happening. So let's dive into what I really think is going to happen. First, I think inflation is going to continue. I think it might even get worse. The reason being is a couple things. One thing, there's 2 things that cause the inflation, or 3 things I really should say. One is we're in a low interest rate, historically low interest rates right now. The government has printed so much money, and that money is not backed by anything. It's all been borrowed money. And then we're also having a supply and labor chain issues. With us printing so much money, the government is stuck in a hard place right now, because if you raise interest rates, it's going to cost more to service all that debt of the money you printed with all these government benefits they have. But if you do that, everybody's going to be hurting who's in further and further debt. It's going to be hard for the government to service that debt. But at the same time, if you keep interest rate at historically low, what you're going to do is allow inflation to continue. So I think inflation will continue because of that. So just watch out for it. Inflation is going to continue. I don't think the supply chain is going to be even fixed for a while. And it's crazy. If you read an article today, it talked about how many boxes from LA are going back to China with empty things. So you're seeing how America lacks production of anything and shipping out boxes to China, and the rest of the world is not buying our things. So we're going to continue to see supply chain shorts continue. Definitely with the new variant, we have more lockdowns. We're going to have less people working at these factories. So we're going to continue to see supply chain issues. And because of supply chain issues, inflation, what you've been seeing in November, December, is a lot of stock market volatility. And I think with inflation, with low interest rates, we're going to continue to see volatility. I think people are still going to be racing into equities, risky investments, because they need to keep a rate of return that keeps up with inflation. And right now, with savings accounts to 0 and inflation is at 6.5% compared to CPI, you have to put your money somewhere to at least get that. And if you can't get it in a safe place, you're going to have to put that money in a risky place. So because of that, I think we're going to see a lot of stock market volatility as people need to put their money in the stock market or equities or crypto. But at the same time, you got baby boomers and older people who are saying, hey, I need somewhere to be safe. And so you're going to have a lot of volatility, because who knows if these manufacturers could even keep up. Another story I want to tell you, I was looking at Audi for my wife. We need a new car, and one issue the guy was telling me, there's aluminum shortage, and because of aluminum shortage, they're not making certain engines. We looked at the car dealerships. We went to a Chevy dealership. We asked for a Tahoe. They only had one Tahoe on the lot. It was a 2015. There was no new Tahoes on their lot. So car dealerships are facing it. So I think it's going to be a tough time for a lot of people, and for these companies, and even these car manufacturers and other manufacturers, because of lack of shortages because of it. The next thing I think is we're going to finally see more foreclosures and evictions. I've been talking about we're going to see it during COVID. And right now, since we have more states have ended their evictions and foreclosure things, we're going to see more foreclosure and evictions than we have previously in 2021 and in 2020. So get ready to see more foreclosures and evictions. I've been wrong the last 2 years, but I think this is the time we finally see it, because I think there's no more government bailout for these folks with it. Also, if landlords be having tenants who have not been paying the rent, they are struggling right now because they haven't got any of the money to bail themselves out. So they're struggling, a lot of the mom and pops as well. So get ready for more foreclosure and evictions. Another prediction, I think. Republicans are going to win big in November. I think right now what we're seeing is, I think we're going to have a clean sweep, and I think Virginia and New Jersey would just a precursor what's going to happen. I think it's going to be a huge sweep between that. Republicans going to win a lot of seats in Congress and the Senate. Right now, if you look at the election, if you look at history, it reminds you a lot of the Jimmy Carter era, where he had a lot of the same issues. Joe Biden has a lot of same issues that Jimmy Carter. So study his presidency. I think right now we're going to see a huge red sweep across this country. I think even California might be a time because of our stances on COVID, our mandates. We might even see California even turn red if the Republicans find a good, strong candidate for once in California. So watch out. Look for it. I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat. I'm just a realist, and I see what's happening. I just sit back and look at the whole thing. And I really do see that it's going to be Republicans who make a clean sweep around this country unless the Democrats can figure out how to save themselves during this period of time. I think they might just went too far to the left for most of the American people. We're also going to, because of this, we're also going to continue to see more conflict between the federal government and the state government. You think this is big right now with with Florida and the federal government? I think there's going to be more conflicts with other states who are going to back them, especially as people want to question the new variant and the strains of the new variant. People are going to question the mandates that are put on by the federal government. And so you're going to see more conflict between the federal government and the states, where the federal government might make certain mandates, states going to go back and fight back on it. We see that right now with Florida, where now they're saying they're going to have their own state reserves, like other states have. That's a huge conflict because now there are people going to volunteer for the state. You see in other states where they say, no, the National Guards do not have to be vaccinated in their state, I believe in Oklahoma. So we're going to see a lot more of that going forward. So get ready to see more conflict of that. And also, we're about to see a whole lot more world conflicts, right? We see right now where American diplomats are saying they're not going to the Beijing Olympics, the Winter Olympics in China. I think we have supply issues, aluminum shortage, rubber shortage, leather shortage, and other shortages. You're going to have world conflicts on who gets those supplies, which means we could see a lot more bickering and diplomatic bickering between countries. We could see more civil wars or wars between borders as we are lacking supplies and resources for certain countries. Now, if you let me know what your thoughts are, what your predictions are for 2022. I hope everybody have a good, happy holidays and a good New Year's. So make sure you hit that subscribe button, and thank you again for looking at and watching my 2022 predictions.